so strongly was destiny through the depths of your essence, but it's in your head. And it's like people outside of your head try and tell you how you gotta be, and to deter you from showing up authentically. You catch yourself starting to believe the shit, like blah blah blah.
Hey y'all, welcome to Naya's Notes. I am your host, Naya Jalisa. On today, we're going to be looking into what are your best underused qualities. Okay, I do have a shorter form version of this reading on TikTok. My TikTok is down below. I post videos on there every day. Other than that, you can also only book with me on my website. I will never reach out to you. My website is down below. I also have free writings and art on there as well. Okay, that's where the multifaceted thrive. If you're an artist or a creative who, is trying to push through, trying to overcome, trying to manifest, go ahead and join the website because you're going to like it, all right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the images for you to choose your pile, and we'll start from there. Hey Pile 1, welcome in. I am your host, Naya Jalisa, and today we're going to be looking into what are your best underused qualities. Remember that I will never reach out to you for a reading. You can only book with me with the website down below. I also have a short form version of this on TikTok. Go ahead and check it out. Let's get straight into it, okay? What are your best underused qualities? Okay. I'm feeling very chill right now. It's nighttime. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have the Two of Cups reversed. We have the Nine of Cups. The Magician. Yeah, exactly what I thought it was. Whoa. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, okay? You all's best underused quality. And we have the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Your best underused quality is your perseverance. You have experienced, betrayal, hardship, random, unexpected, negative things, and yet you still find a way to find joy in your life, to create the life that you want for yourself, and to still be able to be generous and give back onto others, okay? That's your best underused quality. The reason why I feel like it might be underused, though, is because you still see yourself as a page. You're the magician, but you still see yourself as a page. So what I mean by this is I feel like you are the kind of person who could be like a life coach, or there at this point in 2025 there's all different kinds of coaches. It don't even have to be like a whole life coach. You could be a manifestation coach, you could be a transformation coach, you could be a self-awareness coach, you could be an emotional intelligence coach. There's so many niches for coaching. You are somebody who knows how to alchemize. Like, you're an alchemist, okay? With the Magician, like, you're an alchemist for sure. You could also like the book, The Alchemist, or could be drawn to reading it, or maybe this is your sign to read it if you haven't already. It is a really good book. But it's like, you are the kind of person where no matter what life throws at you, you always know how to get back up. And not only do you know how to get back up, but you know how to get back up and still remain kind, still remain soft, still remain positive. You have this, like, whimsicalness to you. Both of the dresses here are white, and so it's like you still have this like purity to you despite everything that you've been through. You could even be the kind of person people assume that you haven't been through shit, or they assume that you just had an easy life because of how happy and secure you are now, and because of your ability to manifest now. But it's like you can teach this to other people, and that's why I feel like this is a quality of yours that's underused. It's like again, with you seeing yourself as a page, and then underneath that we have like the Four of Pentacles in reverse. It's kind of like you don't see, like, you feel like imposter syndrome. You feel like you're not worthy of teaching other people, or you're not worthy of like charging for this, or you overthink how it could be done. With the Page of Wands, I see that you're very creative, so you could come up with creative ways to teach other people these things. Some people coach through just posting, talking videos on TikTok and YouTube. Some people teach through selling courses where they create creative presentations and modules and things like that. Some people write books about their teachings, and they teach through a book that people just buy the book and that's it. There's many different ways to go about teaching and sharing the knowledge that you have accumulated. I write on my website. Now, I don't necessarily charge for my writing. Most of it is free. I do have a couple of sources that I charge for, but for the most part, I write blog posts whenever I feel like I have something that I want to share in terms that can help somebody else. I write about it on my website. You could start a blog, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of ways to share the knowledge and the wisdom that you have, okay? I also feel like this is being underused in the sense that there's people that are waiting for you. I'm not going to say to save them or to even heal them, but there are students waiting for you. Like there's a strong sense of like there's people who are, and I'm not saying waiting in like a conscious sense, like they're like consciously like sitting there like waiting for you, but subconsciously through your purpose, there are people who are waiting for you to activate them. There are people who are going to be activated by you showing up and becoming that teacher. You could look into your, what is that called, human design. There's different lines in human design where like certain people are meant to like go through things in life and then turn around and teach that. And I have that, I think it's called the 3-6 line. It doesn't have to be that exact thing, but there's like this energy here heavily about you being a teacher. Because honestly, I've only been talking for 5 minutes and I feel like that's it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I feel like that's what it is. Like, that's your best underused quality, is that you have all this knowledge that you could be using to teach people and help other people, and you don't, because you don't see yourself as worthy. You still see yourself as immature or not experienced enough, when in reality you very much are. But it's like, I feel like you're gonna have to do a bit of shadow work for this. So you may need to look into your birth chart. You may need to look into human design. You may need to read some of the free writings on my website. You may need to just dig deeper into yourself and dig deeper into why you don't feel worthy of doing this. But there's people literally that when you post whatever it is that you do, whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to post content, you decide to write a book, you decide to, teach a class, whatever the case may be, you could even decide to post on your Instagram story or something. Whatever way that you share that message, there are people that when they hear that message, it's going to spark something in them that turns around their life. So it's not just about you. This is like a purpose driven type of thing. This is not even one of those things where it's like, oh, this is your underused skill, and I can see why you don't want to use it, so maybe just continue not using it. No, like, this is like a calling. This is genuinely a calling, and it's underused again because you see yourself as a small fry. You're not a small fry. You're a teacher. You're like, literally, you could be the kind of person who is meant to actually be a teacher or professor too. Like, you could also be like a mother, and maybe you're meant to pass this information down to like children around you. But there's just like a parent, not necessarily just a mother, but there's just this energy of like, you are actually meant to pass this down. You could be a storyteller. You could even be a good storyteller, and maybe you decide that you want to share this story through, like, I'm getting like children's novels or movies. That's the thing. It's so many ways that you can share this knowledge. It doesn't have to be like you sitting down being an actual life coach and like taking one-on-one clients and like getting on Zoom calls. You could be creative in the sense that you could write like a book about like a nonfiction about your tellings. You could write a fictional story and make it really whimsical and creative, and tell the story in that way. Some of the most powerful messages are conveyed through children's media. Like, if you are somebody who watches anime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, anime has so many like life lessons in it, but it's branded as like a kid's story, a kid's TV show. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with movies or books, like stories. There's just this message here. I mean, it's making me even think about Cat in the Hat, like the Lorax and all this stuff. Like, there were lessons even in those very whimsical, cute, childish kiddie stories. So even if you decide to share a message in that way, but there's this calling that you have to share your wisdom, to share your knowledge, to share your transformation, to share your stories and how you overcame them. Okay, especially in regards to circumstances that were out of your control and your dealings with other people. Okay, learning, because I feel like you're somebody who, whether you know it or not, or whether you like to claim it or not, you have mastered yourself. You have mastered your emotions. You have learned how to still find happiness despite all the chaos that this world throws at us. And that is something that's very, very powerful. Like, I think it's because it's so natural to you, because you've been doing it for so long, you don't realize how valuable it really is. When it's like, there are people who are wanting to self-delete every day because they're struggling to deal with life. And you're somebody who maybe was at that point in your life and you learned how to find happiness, and you think that's not a valuable thing to share. Like, stop. Please. Like, please. Again, even if you don't want to go full-fledged coach, you should be sharing your message in one way or another. That is definitely your best underused quality, is the wisdom that you have about how to master yourself and how to find happiness in life. That's not something that's light. That's not something that should be taken lightly. Like, especially in these times, that is extremely valuable. Okay, so I'm going to pull some affirmation oracles that I created to get some further messages for you. Spirit, what is pile one's best underused qualities? I can't make it up. I know how to properly handle, channel, and express my emotions. I know how to properly handle, channel, and express my emotions. You do. And that is something that you can be teaching other people. Okay. Next we have, I am destined to help humanity and be successful. I am destined to help humanity and be successful. I know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been reading tarot for years. I know what I'm talking about. I trust my instincts and critical thinking skills. I trust my instincts and critical thinking skills. You just need to trust yourself more. That's why you're underusing this, because you don't, like I said, it's like you see yourself in like a small fry type of way. Like you don't feel like, you know, you have as much experience as you do, because to you this has just been your life. It's normal to you, but it's really not. Like it's really not. There are so many people who, had they gone through the things that you went through, they wouldn't still be here to even talk about it. But you're not only are you still here, you're here and you're thriving. You're here and you're happy. You might have your days, we all do, but for the most part you're happy and you're satisfied and fulfilled with your life. And that is something extremely valuable and extremely powerful that you need to share with the world. I don't like telling people what they need to do, but in this case, you need to. You need to. Like, Spirit is telling me to tell you, you need to, okay? And so with that being said, that's what I have for you, pile one. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Remember that I will never reach out to you. You can only book with me through my website down below. Other than that, I love you and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. My name is Naya Jalisa. I am your host, and this is Naya's Notes. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. I will never reach out to you for a reading. You can only book with me down below with the link in my bio. And I feel like there was something else I was gonna say. I don't know if it's important. I remember if it's important, it's probably in the description anyway. So let's get into it. Okay, what are your best underused qualities? Okay, Spirit, what are pile two's best underused qualities? We have the moon in reverse. The Six of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles. The Four of Wands. And lastly, we have the Hierophant in reverse. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun. So give me a second. First of all, I'm hearing that song. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gonna run away when it gets hard. First of all, you know how to shut up. You know how to shut up. You're the type of person, like, you can peep something and move accordingly. Like, literally with the moon in reverse and the Six of Swords, it's like you know how to peep and move accordingly. And that's a very great skill of yours. Also, with the Queen of Pentacles, you know how to build wealth in silence. You know how to appear unassuming. With the Four of Wands and the Sun being the only two cards up right here in the Six of Swords, it's like you know how to move on and appear, you know, you still appear happy. You appear like, you know, you're somebody who's satisfied with your life, but you don't put all of your business on the forefront. Even with the Hierophant here, the Hierophant can represent, when it's in reverse, it can talk about being like non-traditional, you know, stepping outside of the box type of things, you know, like things that are taboo, esoteric, XYZ. But with it in reverse in this particular case, I feel like in the Queen of Pentacles as well, there's this energy where I feel like you are a lot wiser than you let on. You're a lot wiser than you let on. Excuse me. You're a lot wiser than you let on. You're a lot more abundant than you let on. You're a lot more intuitive than you let on. And you know for sure more secrets than you let on. And it's like you show up in this very like, la-di-da-di-da, I'm just bubbly and life is just great and like peaches and rainbows, type of energy. And so people might often assume that you're naive, but you're far as fuck. Oh, I be trying not to cuss on YouTube. I can't help it. You're very far from naive, okay? With the Hierophant here, it's like you could be somebody who's very spiritual. You could, or religious, you know, if you're watching this reading, you're probably more spiritual though. But you could do tarot yourself. You could know how to do certain workings and magic and spells yourself, but you don't talk about that with everybody. You don't tell everybody that you do that. You just do it. okay, in the privacy of your own home. Especially with this Taurus energy here, you could be somebody who does a lot of things at home and you just keep to yourself. You could be a homebody. Okay, with the Four of Wands though, it's like, you do appear stable. It's not that people think you're broke, but if people think you're a hundredaire, you're a thousandaire. If people think you're a thousandaire, you're really a millionaire. If people think you making 75K, you really making six figures. If people think you're making six figures, you really a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of things. You don't really, I'm getting that you're not flashy, and one of your best, most underused qualities is the fact that you know how to blend in with your surroundings, when in reality you're not. It's kind of like you're a big fish in a small pond, but you know how to kind of blend in with the other fish, so they don't really notice that you're so much bigger than them. It's like one of those things. It's like you know how to play dumb as well. You know how to play dumb so that you're not perceived as a threat, or you're not perceived as somebody who wants to come in and shake things up or create change. And I feel like one of your qualities as well is that you don't really try to change people. You don't really try to change environments. If somebody wants to come into your world, you will make them rise to meet you. However, you don't go around, you will leave a situation or leave a person or leave a scenario before you try to change it. You're able to recognize what is and what's not your problem and what's not your job. Okay. The reason why I feel like this is unused for you though is because how do I say this? You could take this a whole nother step further, and you could start a faceless company. Like, you're the type of person, like, you know how to be in the shadows, basically. So it's like, with your abundance and your knowledge and your wealth and your wisdom, you could just take it even further. You might do this on a small scale in terms of, like, let's say when you were a teenager and you got your first job, you told your parents, how much your check was, and all of a sudden they wanted you to start fixing stuff around the house or start helping pay bills or helping buy groceries or whatever. So you realize, okay, let me not tell them how much money I'm actually making, right? You could be doing that on a small scale where you don't really tell people how much money you make. You don't tell people how much you get paid. If you buy something new for yourself, you don't necessarily post it on Instagram. But you could take this a step further in the sense that you could start a whole business. You could start a whole faceless business and it would do well. It don't even have to be faceless. You could just start a whole separate account for something else and not tell the people that it will be successful. You could move, literally, with the Six of Swords. You could move to a whole nother part of town, part of the state, part of the world, part of the country, and you'd be successful in that. And like, people wouldn't know that you did it until it was already done. You know what I'm saying? You could damn near be a spy. You could, because the word I'm hearing is infiltrate. You can infiltrate certain spaces and gain knowledge and wisdom and take it back if you wanted to. Okay. You could also teach other people how to do this. You're like, it's so funny. Like, nowadays you can make money from teaching people how to do stuff from your phone, from wherever you are in the world. You could teach people how to be mysterious. You can teach people how to energetically protect themselves. Because that's the thing. I feel like whoever I'm talking to, if you're still here resonating with this pile, you have something like witchy or spiritual about you that you do in secret that you don't really talk about or share with other people. Like, for example, you could have an altar and it's like, of course, you don't take pictures of your altar and post it. You could journal about certain things and then never let anybody look into your journal. You can teach people how to spiritually protect themselves. You probably have protection rituals and, I'm hearing charms, amulets, crystals, things that you do to protect yourself. And you can teach those things. You can, because that is something that is a great quality of yours that other people need to learn. Some people don't know how to hush. They always want to tell people what they're doing before it gets done, or they always want to share their success or share their sadness or share their business too much. And you know how to move. It's not even about moving in silence. It's just about, like, you know how to build without people paying attention to it. You're the kind of person, like, you ever be driving through an area frequently and, like, they're building on the side of the road, but it's like you don't really pay much attention to it because maybe they don't actually build in the daytime. Maybe they, like, do construction at night. And so it's like, if you drive through in the daytime, you don't actually see any people, like, they're physically working on it in that moment. But, like, over time, we just notice, like, wait, when did they finish building that building? When did they finish that? When did that get there? It's like, you're like that person where it's like, people might see you, they see you pass by day-to-day, whatever, but they don't really pay attention to all that you're actually doing. And so it's like, they might look up at you and your progress or your life or whatever, a month or two from now, and it's like you are like significantly looking richer or healthier or better, or your business is somehow just quadrupled in profits, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they didn't really see you do anything though. So they're like, how the fuck did she do that? Or how the fuck did he do that? Or how the fuck did they do that? And it's like, and because they didn't know about it, they were not able to, you know, throw any evil eye or any negative energy your way. And so it's like you can use this quality, one, to take it a step further and to, you know, get even deeper into your bag. And one of the ways in which you can do that and also help humanity as well is, again, to teach other people how to come back to themselves, how to play along, pretty much. You're the kind of person, you could also consider yourself to be like an earth angel, or you could feel like you're not a part of this planet, or like you're not a part of like human being society. You can teach other people, but it's like you have learned how to blend in. And I don't mean to make it into like a dark thing, but like, you know how vampires, like they have to learn how to kind of blend into society, and like only other spiritually in tune people will be able to look at a vampire and tell it is a vampire type shit. It could be something like that. That's how you, and I'm not saying that you think you're a vampire or that's what you necessarily resonate with, but it's just like one of those things. Like you could feel like you're energetically a different type of being than like a human, but you know how to blend in. And it's like you can use that and teach other people or other beings who feel like they're the same type of being as you and they have that same energetic signature as you, how to blend in while still creating success for themselves. How to create success for themselves without putting a target on their back, basically, is this. Okay, for some of you, and I'm seeing some of you are gonna do this in like a very like some of you could do this in like a more surface level spiritual way, where it's like just teaching like about basic energetic protection or spiritual protection. Some of you could take it deeper spiritually, and maybe you have a specific practice that you use and you could teach about that specific practice. And then for others of you, I'm saying that some of y'all are really dead ass could like be like spies or like work for the government, CIA, shit like that. And you could be training like newcomers. It's making me think about it's making me think about Nikita, that show on CW, Nikita, where it's like she was basically working for like this government secret service agency, and then she took somebody under her wing to teach them the ropes, pretty much, like about how to be a spy and how to infiltrate to gain information. You literally can teach people how to infiltrate to gain information, because that's what's one of your best hidden qualities, period. Okay, so let's get some affirmations to continue the message. Spirit, things are falling on the floor. What are Pile 2's best underused qualities? Hold on. Let me get this card. Y'all pick stuff up with your toes, because sometimes I don't feel like bending over. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to pick this up because it keeps moving. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. All right. So boom, we have, I am destined to help humanity and be successful. What did I just say? You guys are meant to teach people how to do this. You are meant to teach people how to extract what they can from the world and use it to make themselves successful without being noticed, or without putting a target on their back, without having everybody in their business. Because I think especially today, in today's time with like social media, especially like with TikTok and YouTube and streaming and all that kind of stuff, it kind of creates this environment where it's like a lot of people think that in order to become successful online, you have to like spill all your business and you have to like just tell people every little detail about you. But you know that's not true, and you can teach that. You can literally help people with that. Okay, and the next two, it says, I'm always being showered with gifts and money, and I always have enough money to spoil myself and the ones I love. So yeah, you definitely come across abundant, but it's like people don't really know. Like I said, like if people think that you making $100, you making a band. If they think you're making a band, you're making 100,000 bands. If they think you're making 100,000 bands, you're a millionaire. So it's like you one of your hidden talents is also your ability to make money. That's a thing too. It's like you know how to make money, but you know how to do it on the low. Okay, everybody might not know it. You might be the kind of person where people don't even know what you do for work. Like you might have somebody ask you what you do for work, and you give them like some type of like bullshit answer. Like you don't just say like, oh, I'm a receptionist, or I'm a cashier, or I'm an engineer. Like you have like a woozy, flowy type of answer, or you just avoid the question altogether. But you have money though. You know what I'm saying? You can teach other people how to do it too. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 2. I would never reach out to you for a reading. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. You can only book with me through the link in my bio. Again, I'll never reach out to you. Other than that, I love y'all. See you next time. Bye. Hey Pile 3, welcome in. I am your host, Naya Jaleesa. This is Naya's Notes. Thank you for joining me on today. So today we're going to be looking into what are your best underused qualities, okay? Be sure to like and subscribe if you like the video. I also will never reach out to you. You can only book a reading with me through the link in my bio, which is at my website. I also have free writings and art there as well for you guys to check out. So let's just go straight in. I can't talk, okay? Sorry. It's been a long day. I've been recording readings all day. So shout out to you if you booked a personal, okay? Let's get into it. Spirit, what are Pile 3's best underused qualities? All right, first out, we have the Three of Cups. I almost forgot to show y'all. My bad. Like I said, it's been a long day. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups. We have Judgment. Hold on, let me grab it. The Four of Cups. Actually, I feel called to grab this one too. And the Six of Cups reversed. Okay, never mind, I lied. And the Nine of Swords. Okay. So, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. First of all, I feel like one of your best underused qualities is that you have a way with words. You have a way, when it comes to the Three of Cups, the Knight of Cups, really all of these cards put together, it's like you have a way with words. You have a way with being able to soothe people and make people like see the best parts of themselves. You know, with the Judgment, it's like sometimes people feel like you're like an answered prayer in their life because you are somebody who is, you're like people's natural cheerleader. And I think that you're very friendly and kind, and you are very loving. Like, you offer people a lot of love. You make people feel seen, but not in just a way of like, you know, a surface level compliment. It's like you're gonna say exactly what they need to hear with that Judgment. It's like you kind of have this angelic presence to you where it's like, you know, somebody might be going through anxiety, they might be feeling depressed or sad or just not knowing why they're not finding happiness in their life. And it's like, even if they seem like they're not open to it, you still come along and offer them like some type of reassurance or a silver lining to look forward to, or some type of optimism. And again, it's like sometimes people might reject that from you because it's like they think they don't want to hear it, but they'll end up thinking about whatever you said to them like way later down the line and like being appreciative. Or even in that moment, they might act like they don't really want to hear it, but they're actually appreciative that you took the time to try and offer them some love, you know, or offer them some encouragement. Okay. I'm especially seeing that you are able to help people get out of their own head when it comes to like anxiety, insecurities, and self-doubt. You could be the kind of person who, you could be the, yeah, and then on the bottom after that, wow, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool and the Four of Wands. Wow. So it's like you could be the kind of person who has taken a lot of risks in life, taken a lot of leaps of faith, and you're very like faithful and hopeful and optimistic, but you're also very logical. And you just know, it's like you have a good balance of like spirituality and like knowledge of metaphysics. And so from a spiritual perspective, you can, you know, encourage somebody to have faith. But then even from a logical perspective, you can remind somebody that, you know, as long as you put your mind to something and you keep showing up, it's going to happen. Like, just the nature of the universe, the laws of the universe, it has to happen. If you keep showing up and saying that this thing is true and showing up and matching that within your actions and your frequency, it has to happen, right? So it's like whether somebody's, that's why I mean, like, you have a way with words. Like, you're able to convey a message to somebody despite their own belief system. Whether somebody could be atheist and they don't believe in nothing but, you know, just science and hard facts, you can still encourage them with that. You could talk to somebody who's spiritual or agnostic through like manifestation and, you know, the law of assumption and all this kind of stuff. You could talk to somebody who's religious and talk to them about faith and believing in God. You know how to get the message to somebody that they need to hear, regardless of how they exactly need to hear it. And you're very good at knowing how that person needs to hear it as well. Okay. The reason in which I feel like this is underused is because it's not, in your case, it's not that you're underusing this, it's that you're underselling it. So you could be the kind of person who you find yourself doing this to people all the time and you do it for free. You don't do it Like, you don't do it because you need money from it. You do it because it's naturally who you are, and it's one of your best qualities, it's one of your gifts, and you came here to spread it. However, you also can use this gift and profit off of it and monetize off of it and make a life for yourself where you're able to do this all the time, instead of and actually get something in return, and not just do it and get drained. Because with the Four of Cups in reverse, it's like sometimes you do give this energy to people and they brush you off, or they just take your love and then they're like, okay, I feel better now, moving on. You could have experienced being the therapist friend. You could experience being people emotionally dumping their trauma onto you. You could experience being somebody where people only come to you when they're sad and they want you to listen to them vent and cheer them up, and then as soon as they feel happy, they go back off with other people, and they don't never want to be around you when they're just in a good vibe. Or if you want to be happy and you want to hang out with them, they all of a sudden are too busy. Or whenever you're sad, you need somebody to vent to, they're not there for you. So a way for you to, kind of build a barrier between that is to monetize this. And I actually relate to this a lot, okay? Especially with me being a tarot reader. I got into, people ask me all the time, like, how did you get into tarot? Like, I was always the therapist friend. I was always the emotional support friend. I was naturally giving people readings and, knowing the right things to say to them without knowing how I know, since I was a kid. And once I got older and I literally randomly discovered tarot, and it just felt natural to me. I've been doing it ever since. And that has doing tarot freed me from that. And, of course, I still, in my day-to-day life, I still encourage people without necessarily needing to, make them book a reading. But now there's also that boundary, and there's that channel. It's not even about a boundary per se. It's about having a channel where it's like the people that are actually close to me in my real life, I can still give them that energy, right? Or even just when I meet people, I can give them that energy. But if they want to sit there and like really deep dive with me, and they want me to sit there and like really give them that energy, I have a channel for that. I have a business for that. And I say that now. Like, people meet me and they're like, even when I tell them I'll do tarot readings, or, I'm an empath or whatever, they be like, oh, can you read me? I'm like, well, I actually charge for that. I have a business for that. You're welcome to book with me if you would like. I have free resources as well. I post free readings on YouTube. I post free readings on TikTok. Everything is not about the money, but I do have that channel there so that there is a way for me to receive back in return for the energy and the effort that I'm giving out. And that's how I feel like you all can do the same thing. And it doesn't have to be that you need to be a tarot reader either. Some of you guys might find yourself in social work. You can find yourself in psychology or being a therapist, okay? Some of you might want to heal through like physical ways of being in healthcare, okay? Some of you might just want to start a hotline. Some people do the same type of work where, I'm thinking about somebody like Shira, a star goddess, not her dating channel, but her spiritual channel, where you can like write her a message and she'll answer it and give you advice on stream. Some of you guys might want to do something like that, where people send in stories or people send in questions asking for advice, and then maybe you have a podcast or a stream or a YouTube video or something like that, and you give that advice back. But then of course you're able to monetize your podcast or your stream or whatever the case may be. That's how you're underusing this quality. This should not be something that you should just be always giving out for free, okay? And again, it's not to say that you need to charge for every single interaction that people can never just have a genuine conversation with someone where you uplift them. But again, a lot of times I can see that people have probably tried to drain this of you, or they have expected you to always perform this for them. And again, there needs to be a channel of reciprocity for that, period. Okay, moving on, we're gonna get some affirmations. I made this affirmation oracle deck, so we're gonna get into this. All right, let's see, Spirit. What are Power 3's best underused qualities? I'm gonna get a few of these. What are Power 3's best underused qualities? All right. First, we have, I am spiritually guided and protected. So yeah, you all are very, like I said, you have this angelic presence to you where it's like you are just naturally connected to the higher realms. And that's why you can literally like speak to, and again, I don't want to paint you as like a martyr or like you're a savior, but it's like you don't really even realize sometimes the things that you say to people really do genuinely save them and make them feel seen and make them have that aha moment that they needed in order to get up and to keep going and to try to be their best selves and to live their best life and to be happy, right? So this is something that's really important. Next, we have, I wake up every day excited to live life. Again, that is something that you can use to pour onto others as well. And that's the thing too, I feel like for the most part, you don't really allow people to overly drain you, but it's like you're still not really truly filling your cup in the way that you could. You know what I mean? Lastly, we have money is obsessed with me and good things always find me. Money is obsessed with me and good things always find me. Your best underused quality is how spiritually connected you are, how happy you are, and how you allow that happiness to like overflow onto the people around you. And when you learn how to channel that overflow into something that comes back to you, that's when you can really tap into this energy of money being obsessed with you and good things always finding you. And I feel like good things do already find you, and I feel like you already are probably financially abundant because of this, but I feel like you could just make it, you could make it better. You could attract even more abundance in a way that's even more aligned with you than maybe what you're currently doing now, okay? So that's what I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. I will never reach out to you for a reading. You can only book with me through the website down below, which is NayaJalisa.com. Other than that, I love you and I'll see you next time. Bye.